Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. As I continued to study the ancient paintings in this canyon, I became aware of two patterns. The first pattern was that most of the paintings had been vandalized at some point on both sides of the canyon. The walls were covered in scratches, and these scratches formed grids, also images of figures and animals, and more importantly, were used to try and obviously destroy the paintings. No small feat to try and scour away all the paintings down a canyon. What would be the incentive to destroy all paintings and replace them with your own images? It doesn't take much of an imagination to figure that out. The second pattern that became extremely evident with both the paintings and the scratchings were of figures, sometimes solitary, sometimes in groups, and these figures seemed to be holding something, most often in their left hand. Some of these images make it look like the object being held is possibly a human head. I come to this conclusion from paintings and scratches that show this object being held as having ear bobs and hair. I would continually encounter images showing the scene all down the canyon. While I can't be 100% sure that this is what these images depict, it sure does seem plausible. However, it is simply my own speculation. I should also point out that in this section of canyon that I studied so closely, in all the images, both scratched and painted, I came across no spirals or concentric circles. Very intriguing. So as I finish my 24 hours in this canyon, I can't help but come to a conclusion that some type of conflict was documented here. The nature of that conflict, the events that led up to it, and its outcome is lost to time, but its story is clearly told on these canyon walls. Much to contemplate. So please join me as I continue to explore this canyon and discover what once was. Buenos dias. Yeah. I fell asleep reading my book last night. I was out. Well, it was a drama-free evening here in the canyon. No animals came around the tent. Can't say I slept good, but it's the way it always is in a tent. The moon came up and lit everything up, so it wasn't bad at all. Cold. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. Want that sun to come up. Nice calm morning in the canyon here. Winds haven't picked up yet, but it's supposed to come in this afternoon and howl. So my fly was completely covered in ice. Hopefully I can dry it out a little bit before I pack everything up. So I'm gonna have some coffee and some breakfast and then pack the whole place up. Campsite's about to get in the sun, so that'll warm everything up. It is cold, man. Let me tell you. So I'm gonna have some coffee and then get back to checking out some rock art, and then it's back up to the top. However, I won't be humping all that water weight, so it won't be half as bad.
All right, I'm all packed up. Just gonna leave the pack right there so I can pick it up on the way back up canyon. And now let's go find some more rock art. There's a ledge that runs right up here, and there's all kinds of art up there. Yesterday afternoon, before I went back to camp, I walked up in here to see if I could access this ledge at all, and I can't. Well, I probably could. I could probably climb it, but I risk, as I've stated before, a fall, and it's not worth the risk to me being back here by myself so remote. So I'm just going to it's kind of in and out through this area. A lot of it's crumbled and exfoliated away, but right here at the corner there's an interesting cluster of pictographs. There's two large anthropomorphic figures, so I'm going to see if I can zoom in with them. If not, maybe I'll fly the drone up. The wind's already picking up, but I'm going to try and zoom in with another camera and check those out. The sun's kind of in the way, but maybe I can get, oh yeah, all right. There are the large figures. It's gonna be a little pixelated, sorry about that. I have to zoom in, but that's an interesting panel right there. Wish I could get up to it face to face, but I'm not gonna deal with that ledge. Got a really interesting collection of pictographs right here. It's also way up on the cliff, and my extension is not gonna get up there to do this justice, so I've got to do another zoom in. But there's a really long painted squiggly, and then there's a cluster right here. So I'm going to zoom in again. We're going to have a look at this. All right, first we're going to check out that. That's interesting. Then just to the right of all that is that cluster. So a whole lot going on right there. Obviously a story of some sort. And just to the right of some of the more vibrant images, there's some really faded stuff. So I don't know if people came back and put art on top of art or beside older art. You know, that's always the case in places like this, because this canyon's been occupied for thousands of years. So there'll be pretty vibrant images next to almost exfoliated, weathered away images, which obviously means that you know, people come on top of people on top of people. But that's a pretty cool little panel there. Wish I could get up close, but it's 30 feet off the ground here. There's a big panel right here, and then to the right there's actually it's three figures. So I want to hit this. There's a really ghostly looking figure here, and then there's this giant red, I don't know, but it's got feet, 4 feet. It looks like it even has, I don't know what, man, but there's also a guy that's upside down, so maybe another hombre cayendo, falling man. Maybe someone leapt off the cliff there. I don't know, but it's all very interesting. Okay, as you can see, there's a upside down fella right there, and there's this. It's very intriguing. A lot going on there. I need to back out a little bit. Wow, it's huge, whatever it is. Maybe the camera's picking up detail better than I can see it. And then to the right, there's the ghostly figure there. Back out a little bit, you can see. Absolutely fantastic. Now it's three figures a little farther to the right that I'm gonna have to get to pretty quickly because the sun's about to hit them. Okay, here are those three figures. And there's a little dude there. Can I get a little closer? Or I can get a little pixelated. Sorry about that. Look at how interesting that is. What? Yeah, crazy. We've got an interesting set right here. Yes, indeed. So, sun's about to hit this panel, so I need to get some close-ups of it, and then I'll go with the extension as well, because it's very interesting, graphic, and you know, you'll figure it out once you see it. All right, here we go. Yes. Very interesting indeed. Well, they certainly took some time to emphasize certain aspects of this figure. So let's go up and have a close look at the extension here. Oh, there's some ghostly figures to the right of it. Notice just above the groin area it has some type of decorative, perhaps clothing. It's very, very, very detailed actually. And then you got, looks like the mouth was pecked out up the head area. It's got a headdress, ear bobs, something off the left arm there. It's just absolutely fascinating. Dude, I just found, man, the sun's so bright on this rock. You can see there's remnants of a figure there, anthro figure. It almost looks like an arrow pointing up. Oh, well, there's something up there. There's a whole bunch of scratchings. I can't get too close, but that's, man. Oh, how interesting. So there's a tiny little scratching of a zoomorphic figure here. All right, there's that zoomorphic figure there. I think the camera's picking up a little better this time. It's just probably just to the above. I'm like really stretching here. So I'm noticing something. The scratchings, which I've seen all over this canyon and on top of painted, the pictographs been scratched out. When the scratchings, whoever was scratching, maybe it was multiple people of course, but they are also leaving images as well, but they're a little more, they're very different. It's a completely different style. So I think that's a different people or culture that came after the basket maker Anasazi, Ancestral Puebloan, and they scratched out their images and replaced it with theirs. That's what I'm thinking. That's what it looks like, because it's a completely different style. It's a little it's after the fact, after the basket maker art. So that's what I'm putting together. I could be completely wrong here, but it's just what it looks like to me. So like I said multiple times and multiple sites all over Arizona, Nevada, Utah, people came on top of people, and sometimes they scratched out all their stuff they left behind and put theirs. Just like, for example, the Spaniards conquering the Aztecs and building Mexico City on top of Tenochtitlan. Same thing. Okay, this is excellent. I have just found some ancient, I mean, they are ancient petroglyphs. And I'm walking this cliff base, and this area here is underneath. This, I think this has been exposed from, you can tell that waters run through here, and it's exposed the bottom, and there's petroglyphs down there. And it shows, this is fascinating. Look at this. Oh my goodness. So it's got zoomorphic figures here. Look at this. And then there's a human with a spear. This stuff is so old. You can see it's mineralized and repatinaed. It's redarkened. These glyphs here are thousands of years old. And there's more animals down there. There might be a whole panel underneath this dirt. It's just completely filled in, and then it might have recently, because you can see the water ran through here. Might have recently been exposed again. That is absolutely the best thing I've seen aside from the handprints. There is a human holding a spear looking at animals. And there's 3 animals. Nope, there may be 4. You can see there's something else down there. Oh my. That was worth the entire trip. I think there's another figure right here. These glyphs are thousands of years old. Oh man. That is incredible. Oh, look at this. Yeah, we've got some zoomorphic figures scratched in here. Back out a little bit. And then to the right of those, some really old paint. Down, you've got a figure here. Check this out. Just saw this after walking through all this stuff. Right here at the bottom. Interesting. So this stuff has been scratched in, kind of petroglyph style. And once again, I'm saying these scratchings are different. I'll go to the first one here, which is really interesting. Not gonna come off. And it's a figure holding some type of staff. Look at this. Look at its fingers here. All right, well, here comes the wind. It's only going to get worse at this point. So I'm going to go up and examine this area and come down to this point here. And that's probably going to be a wrap, because that'll get me to my 24-hour mark. And then I've got to, of course, to hike out of here. Back down in the arroyo. Man, this water's really carved this thing out. What a view, huh? So I've come out of the arroyo down here, and I'm up, and I'm just gonna walk it all the way to the point, see if we find anything. I hadn't found anything as I came down, and then when I get to this ledge here, boom. This is really interesting stuff, and I've got some yeah, okay, so I want you to pay attention to this real quick. These 2 figures here, as I pointed out in other anthropomorphic figures, they have ear bobs. So it looks like they're holding heads with ear bobs. I'm gonna get the extension to get up there to get close. And then to the right of them are zoomorphic figures that actually have like regalia on them. This is absolutely fascinating. Let me get the extension going. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna really check out these 2 figures. Sun's about to hit them, so I want to get it while there's still shade. But if you notice, both the figures seem to be holding something in their left hands. And as you can also see, they have some type of headdress or ear bobs on. Actually, maybe not. Maybe they're holding the people that had the ear bobs in, and this is completely different. Oh yeah, I don't know, but you can see what may be heads has ear bobs. Once again, I think we're looking at a depiction of humans holding human heads. To the left of the big pair of red figures is a white figure scratched in. Let me go back out a little bit, and then let me just move to the right of the red figures. Oh, we got some shade, very nice. Are the big zoomorphic figures that have some type of regalia on them. You can see around the neck, they've got like red collars. This is absolutely fascinating. But this is incredible right here. Well, that's some absolutely fascinating imagery there, and I am really under the impression these figures are holding human heads, especially with the detail at the ear bobs. And those two figures are kind of a different style, especially with the heads. I don't know, maybe it's a different group, and I don't know, you can use your imagination, but I'm seeing examples of this all throughout the canyon, holding heads. So there's painting all up in here, but it's pretty much faded away to nothing. I can't really make anything out. I can just see bits and pieces of red paint here and there. I mean, this is straight in the sunlight for hours per day over a millennia, so not much left. And I've got another panel halfway up this cliff. Stop where my fingers are. There's a ledge right there. That's probably 20-25 feet from the bottom there, so I'm gonna have to zoom in, but it's like got an entire group of people hand to hand going across. It's in white. To the right of that is some painted stuff, but I'm going to zoom in and take my time going over this because there's a whole lot going on in there. All right, let's get in there. It's going to be a little pixelated, so I apologize about that, but you can start seeing in the white there. Look at this. What is going on? I'll get a little closer, but it's probably going to get a little corrupted. There's some figures right there. Oh, there's some to the left too. I didn't notice those. And there's a, well, look at that. And to the right there, oh, there's something big right there. Stuff at the bottom, it's all in white. And then above it are figures with painted regalia. Wow, that's fascinating. All right, that's my time. I have hit the 24-hour mark, and I have just seen so much incredible rock art. Obviously at this point you don't realize I'm a rock art enthusiast, very passionate about it. This place has just been absolutely fascinating. I've seen so much incredible stuff, and I've got so much stuff just bouncing around in my head thinking about it all, so I don't know really what to say about it that would make any sense at this point. It's just this is a very intense spot that obviously has been occupied over thousands and thousands of years. I mean, there's proof of that in here. There's also what I believe to be proof of plenty of violence, and that may be over the resources this area has, or who knows, but it's been a very interesting 24 hours in this canyon, let me just say that. And I will point out one more thing, and I mentioned this already previously, but it's kind of interesting that I haven't seen any concentric circles or spirals. None whatsoever. And those symbols are prevalent in the general area, so I don't know. The helmet's still here. Nice. Just gotta grab my sticks and I'll have all my belongings. Okay, obstacle number 1. This big old pack of that. Shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah. There we go. Done. Whew. All right, I think we're there. All right, obstacle 1 down. Oh look, there's one of my sticks. No one stole it. There is my route up. Right up there. Yeah, it's a steep one, all right. I'm actually more comfortable going up than down, so no big deal. The top is closed, and I'm a little beyond halfway, but I came, tip of that stick there, all the way to the horizon, the back of that canyon. Not bad. It's a good little walk. And I like the fact that this is so steep because you just get up that much faster. And yeah, that's the top right there. One step after the other. Made it back to the truck. All is well. Well, there you have it, folks. 24 hours at an ancient Anasazi site, or Ancestral Puebloan. What an extraordinary trip. I found so much just fascinating artwork. It's really got my mind twirling. So you know, if that's there, there's got to be more. So I'll probably return at some point in the very near future. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is free, helps the channel grow tremendously. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.